Good pass, John. drivers meeting in 4 minutes.
ZachFacts.com.
This track is kicking my ass tonight. I will use my practice time wisely and not drive into the garage area or through the infield tonight.
Sorry, Derek.
You're good.
10. Looks like Sean Dickinson. No, let it go.
Yellow.
Oh, Saunders back into the pack. Big sponsor. Donovan's in it. Sean English is in it. Oh my God, are you? Caution! No way. Or he's gonna dive bomb him. Here he goes. He's gonna try a bump. All the way to his bumper. Can he shove him? Can't do it. Dylan is gonna win it here in Iowa. Bump and run! Oh, he's done this before!
Bump and run, the 61 to the inside. Can he make it work? He's got it.
Inside of the O2, he's sliding! Oh, Burrows is around! Oh, the wrecking right in front of him, that's Mogren.
Jones is a great run on the high side.
Drive off the corner and
They're gonna be side by side, this is gonna be a photo finish, 3 wide out the wire, and that's the stripe, it's gonna be Ruggles! Oh my God, what a finish! Ace car is in. We're up and away. Green flag.
61, Dominic Howell.
Oh, he gets hooked! Oh my God! Hard into the wall! Huge track on the start finish line. Who comes out on top?
Dallas Mayan wins.
Dallas Mayan wins it! What? Make quick work of that number 9 of Eric Andrews. Andrews washes up the racetrack. Oh, let's go! Oh no! Oh! They're gonna be wrecking. That's the big one. Oh my God! Connor's involved. They're still wrecking. Iascar Watkins. No, not Iascar. Definitely not Iascar. I screwed that up. NFRL Berserker Series, round number 14 out of... I don't even know how many rounds there are. Wow, I screwed that up very badly. Apologies about that, but we're here for the NFRL Berserker Series at Watkins Glen for our second road course of the season. If you're not just joining us live, well, you joined us in the right time. We got ourselves set up for this 40-lapper for tonight. Our race analysis is going to be shown on the right-hand side of the screen. 40 laps in total, 98 miles in length. Pit window should be every 25 to 32 laps. Alright, it might be smaller. We'll have to see on how the progression goes with the race. Pit road speed, Roman 45 miles per hour. Ticker's going to be shown on the left-hand side of the screen as everybody logs in their fastest too. Just work themselves around the road course. So, since we're here at a road course, no cautions. Classic iRacing NASCAR scenarios. Wherever you start is going to be determining on how your race will be ran. If you screw it up, well, oh no, a lot of things are going to go wrong. Because qualifying matters the most. This is probably the very few situations in which you have. It's sort of a requirement to qualify to win. Because since it's going to be a green to checkered race, don't expect any cautions for this one. Still getting ourselves set as some drivers still roaming around the racetrack. Here comes Smith in 66, just logged on a lap. Oh, actually he did. He's logged himself in 6th place. Lee Sheen currently sitting in 8th racetrack. There he is in front of your screen, and number 21 machine. I have to load up Trading Paints. I joined in the session late. Apologies about that. So, Actually, just full apologies for such a abruptness, because I was not prepared for tonight. As we get ourselves set up, we'll go ahead and pull out the ticker and show point standings here for tonight. Zach Nichols, your points leader after last week. Even though he did not win the race, he gained a lot. Over that second place is John Furness and Carl Hanwork, both of them not having great days after getting involved in some wrecks at Bristol, but Zach came home in second. It was Lucas Cram who took the checkered flag, but he's not within that window of that top 12. So currently about five or four. Oh, it looks like 4 rounds left to decide who's going to be the top 12 for the chase. So as of right now, Zach Nichols, John Furness, Carl Hanwork, Matt Kevin Foster, Derek Winter, and Mulrooney Jr., Joseph Kizik, Tyler Logan, Chase Bonser, Evan Rice, and Mark Stryker.
Remember, guys, go as hard as you can. Then
there we go. I have to apologize, I forgot to mute that, but Mark Stryker is going to be your cutoff. That means there's a 6 points between Mark and Kyle. This should be interesting on how that will play out once we get into the cutoff coming at Talladega in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now. Alright, as we get ourselves set up here for this one, here's your outside pulse here, and there's your inside pulse here. That number 4 is Zach Nichols, going to be starting on front row. Speaking of rows and such, we're going to pull up the starting grid here for tonight. Congratulations to that number 4. He's not in his usual 44. Lucas Cram is going to be stealing that number. He starts all the way back behind him. Should be interesting on how that will play out, but row number 1 is Zach Nichols and John Furness going to round it out. Row number 2, Lucas Cram, Kirk Marble. Row 3 going to be Chase Bonser and Derek M. Smith. Row 4, Kyle Smalley and Liam Shee making a return here tonight. Vince Marsh, Carl Hand, we're going to round out row number 5. The rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully you wins it here for this one. But got a lot of big names starting toward the rear of the field. We were talking about the chase bubble. Bryson Clark, 14th in points. He has to make up huge for tonight's race. Dave Fuge, Derek Winter, running 6th in points. So he has a good margin, unless he has a bad day tonight. We'll have to see on how it'll turn out. J.R. Hager making a return here, as well as Kevin Foster. Jared DeKeetre returning on the racetrack. Joshua Crane back on the racetrack after missing last week, I think. Rusty Gilson, Brian Libby now becoming a regular. Most see him in and out. Usually every week. Alan Dobbs, Pete Gilson, Morgan Baird, all the way in last place. So at number 10, Morgan. He's 20th in points. Again, we'll pull up point standings and how everybody stands around as of right now, but that top 12 is relatively close. Well, around the 12th position, Mark Stryker in just by 6 points, and Smalley out by 6 points. Clark, too, I was mentioning him earlier. He's only out by 1, as well as Vince Marsh, just 1 point out of where Bryson is. After that, there's a big gap between Vince and Connor, and Connor Crichton in 16th place. Alright, combatants are set for tonight's rundown all the way to the checkered flag. Remember, our race analysis is going to be shown on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're just joining us here for tonight, getting ourselves set for the green flag soon as we take it to the go. But length, 40 laps. I might have overestimated on the pit window, but I'm expecting these people to pit around 20 just to cut the race into 2. Pit road speed is 45. If you do speed, you're going to get caught in a hole, because there's not going to be cautions here for tonight unless the admin throws in one. Pace car slides itself onto pit road. That number 4, Zach Nichols, will lead the field to the green. As we take it to the green flag, we're up and away here at Watkins Glen. As there's a big blink from the number 61 of Kirk Marble as they head into one. Oh, the 4! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe he kept it straight. That was great driving by that number 4 of Zach Nichols. He got real sideways in the S's, but luckily he kept it straight. He stayed under the green as that 4 keeps himself pointed forward, but that was a sketchy situation as the field rolls into 1 and 2, and around goes the 23 of Carl Hanwork. Your 3rd place in points gets bumped, and around he goes. He's going to lose a ton of positions and work himself all the way to the rear. Meanwhile, up front, everybody's now fanning themselves out, but the 23 of Carl Hanwork is all the way in last place. We'll see what happens as he head into the bus stop. It looks like the 8 of Evan Rice got into him, and the 23 turned us around to go back alive. And unfortunately for Carl Hanwork, all the way in last place, you see the 8 of Evan Rice turned around. See what happened to him as he headed himself in the corner. Looks like got a bump from Skylar Carnes in the 47. He goes around. A bit of karma situation rolling around there from the 8. Meanwhile, up front, John Furness slowly pulling himself forward as you see the 44 Lucas Kern get really sideways, but how about for the lead is heating up. And your pole sitter is stalled all the way back. In 2nd place, caught the car sideways, luckily kept it straight with John Furness in the meantime, and is pulling himself a go. Work ourselves through the field. Get a view on everybody on the racetrack. Still up front, number 82, John Furness. Putting it where he needs it. 82 Furness just slowly trickling forward ahead of that number 4, but obviously with a new tire model, everybody has to keep check with their tires and keep it as stable as they can, or else they'll burn it out, burn up the rubber too quickly and fall back. See this battle here for 4th place. Kirk Marble and Derek Smith. No, it's Kirk who's blinking out, just a slight in that number 61, but luckily not affecting that number 66 of Derek, who's pulling himself forward. We're on board of him as he works himself through the carousel. A bit of news about this track. There was rumors of it being rescanned. Turns out it is false, unfortunately. What is getting rescanned, though, is a lot of ovals. ISM is one of them. Texas is another. Texas is actually going to come in soon, probably next build. So once we do see Texas Motor Speedway work itself into the broadcast, you might see it being repaved with 4 lanes and 1 and 2. Variable banking, obviously. Should be interesting. Skylar Carnes, unfortunately, out of broadcast at number 47 with the DNF. Had a great start to the season. Hunted up a couple of top 10s, but unfortunately here tonight at Watkins Glen, not going to go his way. They'll probably archive it like they do with the older tracks, like Lime Rock. They archived that. Daytona, obviously the old one. They once scanned back in 07, which, interesting enough, does not have lights, even though it was ran in nighttime for the 500. iRacing getting to implement lights to the racetrack for that. I just see the 82 get a bit sideways and he hop the curbs. Herp the cops. Hop the curbs. Just a slight. Still keeping himself ahead of that number 4 of Zach Nichols, but that 4 just won't go away. The 82 of John Furness is getting attacked. Scroll all the way back to 4th. Now we got a new face here up in the P4 position. It's Derek M. Smith, who works himself forward. Kurt Marble gonna fall back 1 spot. One driver who did not show their face here tonight, Aaron Mulrooney Jr. Not on the racetrack. He runs, I think 7th in points. That's gonna take a huge hit to him. We'll see the driver behind him in points is that number 5 of Tyler Logan. So this is Tyler's chance to go ahead and pounce on Mulrooney, who's not here tonight. And you see Tyler work himself currently in 11th place, now wanting to get up to that number 77, Mark Stryker. Stryker, too, a regular. He's actually within the chase bubble. It's the 5 of Logan. Slipped up a bit in 1. That's going to cost him a spot to Connor Crichton. And Crichton, too, one of the drivers looking inside that top 20, looking to boost himself into the chase. Here we go, battle for the lead. Furness gonna elect the defensive line into turn number 7. The 4 that is not leaving him alone. We're gonna go side by side. So work to the front straightaway. The 4 is Zach Nichols, and the 82 gonna outbrake him into the corner and pull ahead of the 4, but the 4 has a better line through turn number 1, but cannot get to the inside through the S's. That number 82, John Furness, still keeping it strong, but the 4 getting shrugged off by the 82. Look around here. This is for currently 7th place. This is Chase Bonser, Liam Sheen. Sheen right behind in that number 21 machine. So works right up off the corner. Bonser, ever since that Indy win, has been involved in a lot of scuffles lately. Has been decent enough to still be within that top 10 in points. Bonser, I don't think had a good Bristol day. He finished all the way in last. Here we go, battle up front, and the 4 has finally found himself. And the 82, John Furness. We'll see how we got it done on the replay, because that was obviously off screen. Looks like the 82 of John Furness just slipped up just a slight. Allowed the 4 to get under him. And shoved it into the corner again, but the 4 just had the better line into the S's. Got the grip down, and he's still in the lead. Hasn't shrugged off the 82 yet, but is faster, just by a slight margin. I'll have to see on how the 4's tires play up. But as of right now, Zach Nichols will lead his first laps of the day on lap number 9. Lots of close racing throughout the field. See either 81, Chase Bonser, attacked by Liam Sheen. Only a few car lengths separate the two. Vince Marsh also running at the tail end of this. Mark Stryker He needs a good day to keep himself into the top 12. He's currently running in 10th position. One of the drivers just talking about in that chase talk. He's doing it nicely as of right now. Hello, Moose Media. Bit of give and take in the background. This is 16 to Joshua Crane in the 23. Oh no, that's not the 23. That's the 25. Dave Fuge, currently 2 laps down, letting by some lead lap cars. In the meantime, that number 4 is Zach Nichols. Ever since he took the lead away from that number 82, John Furness, he's now starting to pull himself ahead. That gap of 1.2 second lead. That number 82. You can hear the rear tires squealing through the S's as the 82 searches around for grip. Just can't find it as of right now, but it's still early in the race, only 1/4 of the way through. Still got a lot of time left in the race. Kyle Smalley being trailed by the 81 to Chase Bonser. Smalley, I don't know where he started. Looks like he started in 6th, now dropped all the way back to 7th place. Pretty big gap between him and the car in front. That's Kirk Marble, who's in front of this number 57 to Kyle Smalley. Bonser slowly and steadily just eating that gap away. So you might see a pass here for 6th place here in just a moment. Smalley, way qualified toward the front. Still searching around for as much grip as he could find. Can't find right now. Have another line of cars all the way back to 10th place. Mark Stryker in that number 77. This one being led by the 77 Mark Stryker. Tyler Logan is in this mix as well. Derek Winter putting the pressure on that number 5. We'll see if he can pass him here in just a moment. Bryson Clark in that number 17, sitting in 13th place, but he's getting a slight bit of a run. We'll see where he's going to take it, all the way down to 6th and 7th maybe. I think what could make the difference based off of speed is how you enter the corner and how much you could out-track. Obviously, this being a road course, you got to use up as much track as you can, and with a car that only wants to turn left, it's hard to set these cars up. As you see the 5 start to pull away from the 17. Seems like the 5 at Tyler Logan is better off on the southern end of the circuit, other than the northern end where the bus stop and chicane is. He's worked himself to the backside of that number 77. We'll see if he can pass him here in a moment. So got another battle heating up here for 6th place. And here's Smalley and it's Chase Bonser and Liam Sheen, who's now starting to slowly catch that number 57. Work themselves into 1. sponsor I know, one of the drivers who's running the iRacing 24 hours. As you see Smalley really slip up in the S's, that's going to open up the door for the 81. Here we go, Smalley. An attack from the 81. We'll see who could outbrake into the bus stop as the 81 really driving it deep. That was an awkward entry into the bus stop. Yeah, all is well, nobody making contact between those both. Work themselves through the carousel. Looking right off the corner, the 81 of Bonsers. Starting to get gapped a slight. The 57's pickup in the S's. Slowly constant. Focus in on this battle for 10th place. Tyler Logan, number 5. Again, one of the drivers in the chase bubble picture. Every position matters, especially when there's no bonus points given out. 5 got the run through the S's. We'll see if we can take it down into the bus stop, maybe shove it into the carousel just a slight. Both of them just tiptoeing through the bus stop as lightly as they can, and that allowed the number 9 Derek Winter to go ahead and close the gap. Focus in on your leader, number 4 of Zach Nichols. He's not only a multi-time winner in the series, he's leading points by a good margin over that number 82, John Furness. John, 472 points on his resume, rather than Zach, who has 493. Both of these drivers have made every single start. Both of them racking up multiple wins as well, but Zach just getting the better of that number 82 today. That number 4 was bound to win at Bristol. Unfortunately, just got beat in the end by the 3rd place car, that number 44 of Lucas Cram. Cram running strong. He's been in 3rd the whole entire race, but still trailing behind that number 82 and number 4. But that top 2 on the leaderboard as of right now, definitely one of the championship favorites. So we should watch out for them as we continue on, as here we go. We got a ball for 5th place. Smalley looks like he slipped up in 1. We go through the S's as Bonser is now putting the pressure on the 57. So that was right through, as I think Bonser just slipped up a slight in the S's, nearly hit the Armco. Down into the bus stop. That gap yet again opening up. Even though the 57 is a slight bit inconsistent with how he's nailing the corner down, he still has the speed to still pull away from the number 81 of Bonser. But if the 57 doesn't make the amount of mistakes as he is right now, he might be contented for that 4th place position. only real group is within that 57. Kyle Smalley, Chase Bonser, Liam Sheen, Vince Marsh. Also trailing just a slight bit behind as he hops the curve, just a slight. That might lose him some time to that number 21 of Liam Sheen. Kirk Marble is left on an island of his own as of right now. And he has gapped his 10th place. He has gapped 10th place by 11 seconds. How about a nice recovery by that number 23 of Carl Hanwork? He spun on the first lap, but even though he spun on the first lap, he's moved himself back into 11th place. That's a great recovery by that number 23. Was jammed back all the way in 25th. Now he's working himself into P11. So Hanwork may be the drop. It's not going to be as significant if he could work himself forward a couple more positions. He could cushion himself with P3, but as he gets a bit sideways right up off the corner. Currently the 2 of Zach Nichols. Uh-oh. Bit of play call right here, and here we go. Pit stops are going to open up this time by, and the number 14 of Vince Marsh going to hit pit road this time by. Slides himself on in. Got another driver who hit pit road earlier. That would be the 53 of Joseph Kizik. But Vince Marsh going to hit pit road this time by. A bit of short pitting. You could probably make it just with one stop. And with the 14's decision to come on in, that will open up the door for all these drivers to hit pit road, and we'll see who hits pit road. Now or later. The 4 are going to elect to stay out. Maybe cutting it all the way to 20 just to make sure he could go the distance with just one stop. Another driver going to hit pit road this time by. Liam Sheen in the 21 scoots himself on in down to 45 miles per hour. He comes in on lap number 20. Breaks away from what was 7th place. There he is right in front of your screen. Started all the way in 8th place, and you see it right there. That's one of the updates. iRacing has implemented. The cars don't bounce anymore like they used to. Bless iRacing. Another driver on pit road right behind the number 21 of Liam Sheen. That would be the number 5 of Tyler Logan. Going to scoot his Ford Mustang onto pit road. Has a bit of left front damage, but probably cosmetic as of right now. Nothing too severe. Another driver hitting pit road right behind. That will be the, I think, the 15. Connor Crichton slides himself on in the monster machine. As here comes your leader down on the pit road, that number 4 of Zach Nichols. And that opens up the door for that number 82, John Furness, to take the lead. He's going to elect to stay out to lead a lap, but it's not going to gain him any benefits because there are no bonus points being handed out. But there's your leader, that number 4 of Zach Nichols on pit road. For the first and only time, he is joined in by the number 44, Lucas Graham, as well as Derek M. Smith. So a lot of the top 5 coming in this time by. Smalley is also in with a battle with Bonser. So I know Bonser and Smalley were close on pit road. Looks like Smalley overshot his pit stall just a slight. That's going to cost him a position. And as well as 61, Kirk Marble. So, again, pit stops are crucial under green, as Kirk is still trying to get into his stall correctly. That's going to lose him a ton of time. He finally gets the right sides jacked up on his machine, but that's gonna actually he elects just with 2 tires just to compensate for that. Right sides only on the number 61. And on a pit road goes the Number 23 at Carl Hanwork. The 9 of Derek Winter right behind. Bryson Clark also in and out, as well as the 77 of Mark Stryker. So we still yet to see that number 82 of John Furness hit pit road. John looking to run out the tank. Maybe he's just better off in the long run, but that number 4 recently just on pit road. I think the time is up. That 82 has to hit pit road sometime later, or else he's going to just be digging himself a hole as the 4 with new tires. Even though they're cold, they're still new. That gap is just going to close between the two. Joshua Crane was P6 at the time of when he entered pit road, but obviously him just staying out just a slight bit longer than the others. He puts that number 16 on pit road. Pretty sure 4 tires and tank full Sunoco Racing fuel. He's up and away in that number 16. And here comes your leader on in, who was running P2 at the time. Now puts himself on pit road. That's John Furness. Started himself in first. Started himself in second. Lost the lead after a pass in the S's. Puts himself on in. The question is, where will the 4 come out? And he'll definitely pass that number 82, John Furness. That gap is shut off because, oh man, both of them are side by side. The 82, John Furness, and I think that was either Pete or Presley Gilson. It was Presley Gilson who was side by side off the exit of pit road. Everybody keeping themselves in check to not make contact. But a slight bit of a scare right there is going to cost that number 82. Bit of track time to that number 44 of Lucas Cram, who's now working himself closer to that number 82 of John Furness. It takes a lap or two to get these tires heated up in the 82 of John Furness. I'll start worrying just a slight, but it'll play off in the long run if he's consistent with those tires. He has a shorter window all the way to the finish rather than Lucas, who has 3 laps more on his tires than that number 82, John. So that fight for second. Bound to have a position swap with the 44 can hit his marks. In the meantime, we scroll through the field as we'll take a look at some battles going on throughout the racetrack. Number 14, Vince Marsh. As Vince gets really sideways in the S's, keeps it straight. That's going to lose him some time to the 57 of Kyle Smalley. So work themselves down the back straightaway. Smalley has a run into the bus stop. Only 1 lane through. I mean, you could go double file through the bus stop, but it's obviously very sketchy. You're bound to make contact if you do. Looks like Smalley didn't get as great of a bus stop as he wanted to. Lost all that momentum from off the S's. He's going to have to regain it back in 6 and 7. And he's doing so. See right there, Smalley is backing up the entry more than the 14 of Vince. Even though Vince could pull in the middle of the turn, this track is more momentum based. As you see, it looks like the 14 of Vince. Vince Marsh is just gonna go ahead and let by that number 57 of Kyle Smalley. Not gonna bother to battle it out for position. So Smalley works himself forward. And Smalley running 13th in points. Vince running P15 in points. Those drivers are relatively close, so a point more than Vince is going to pull Bryson a bit closer into that chase bubble. Look around for more battles. It's like maybe Tyler Logan and that number 5 was peeking around that number 23 of Carl Hanworth. But Carl, as I said, he spun on the first lap off the bus stop after contact with the aid of Evan Rice. But luckily for that number 23, he's recovered back all the way into 10th. No, excuse me, 9th place. Excuse me. That's a great recovery. Just about starting all the way to the tail end after that spin. Back into 9th place, running 3rd in points. Has 1 win on his back and came on the first round at Texas. And we're doing a nice job of pushing that car as much as he can. And now he's in P9. But he has a significant gap between him and Bonsard. That's about 4 seconds between the two. As Bonser's nose looks like to be missing. No, actually, that's the hood of the car that is gone in that machine. So that number 81, Chase Bonser, has made some slight of some sort of contact. That could probably open up the door for that number 23 of handwork now, because I don't know if Bonser has enough damage in which the engine is hurt, just a slight, but the gap between the two now just 3 seconds, so maybe the 81 is hurt. As you see, the 18 spin right off the corner, heads himself into the barrier, and that's the 18 of Pete Dilson. Looks like it got too much of the car, and we'll see what happened. Was running 19th at the time and hopped the curb just a slight. The car got upset and unfortunately caught the barrier at the wrong angle, in which he got stuck in the wall. He's going to have to force to tow it and get himself back onto the racetrack as soon as possible, but it takes at least 2 or 3 minutes to tow. So I think Pete is going to come out either in 22nd or 23rd. Not a good day for Pete. Not the 4. The Carl is usually in the 4. Zach is usually in the 44. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. As you see, the 4 encounters on huge lap traffic. He's gonna have to cut the course just a slight as he avoids. I think that was Jarrett DeHitre right in front of him. He's probably gonna have to slow down because he cut the course. But we'll have to see. That was a major checkup. And just a slight scare. He's trying to work around the lap cars. Yeah, it looks like as the 27, Jarrett DeHitre was trying to make the corner. He was side by side with somebody. Jarrett missed the corner, but Zach just misjudged. Just a slight. Those tires are going to be dirty on that car. I don't know if the new tire model will get wore down by that much of grass. But the 4 still keeps himself in the lead. Got a huge gap over the 82, John Furness. There he is on the racetrack. As you see, oh my goodness, DeHitre is stopped on the racetrack. As I think he did spin the car. We'll see what happened as he worked up through the S's. And DeHitre got in the grass, and the 27 tried to woe it down, and he hit the Armco. Good thing he was not on the racing groove, so everybody cleanly avoids, but the heat tray is causing a bit of issues for all these lead lap drivers. Again, because of that, there's no cautions, because it is a road course, as the 9 of Derek Winter has a bit of front end damage as he gets lapped. Starting to see some drivers appear out of nowhere with damage, as now, speaking of appearing out of nowhere, the 81 of Chase Bonser. He had a lot of front end damage on that machine, and looks like Bonser had a bit of problems on the short chute right up off the carousel and might have hit the grass. Ooh, that looks to be a hardware issue right there, as he's dead into the barrier in the middle of the straightaway. So the 81 with some sort of hardware issue. Luckily, no one was around him at the time, but unfortunately for that 81 of Chase Bonser, his day is most likely done for. We're gonna have to check up on him, as I don't think that's the first time that's ever happened, because flashback about 3-4 weeks ago, coming at Michigan, Bonser had a problem going into turns number 1, and unfortunately it did take out it did take out a couple of drivers, as my dog is being weird. I'll just spend that. All is well for that number 4 of Zach Nichols, who's pulled himself a 7.6 second lead over that number 82 of John Furness. We might as well get an onboard of how that number 4 of Zach Nichols makes a lap around Watkins Glen. We'll get a cockpit view of this as he works himself to the start and finish line. I think he's on gear 3 across the start finish line. This lap is started as he brakes before the 100. Obviously, he could brake at the 100 if he had newer tires. Puts himself to the outer side of the racetrack, trying to get an arc into the S's. This is 3 and 4 he's working up on. Car slides through the S's as he's gliding the car through the asphalt. Now into one of the crucial parts of the racetrack, blowing it all the way down to just around 90 miles per hour through the bus stop and into turn number 5 through the carousel. A slow-paced corner, but another crucial corner, because you have to keep that car tucked all the way to the bottom side of the racetrack, as unfortunately he blinks out. We have lost Zach. Yeah, that's a bit awkward. We don't know where Zach is. We'll see if he could reappear on the racetrack. There he is. He's having a lot of blinking issues as of right now, so we'll pick up on the number 82 of John Furness. Hopefully he doesn't disconnect from the session, but there he is. He's finally back. Before he disappeared, he was going into the final 2 corners. Of turn 6 and turn 7. What I love a lot about Watkins Glen is it's wide and fast pace. You're running about 150, or maybe even faster, Yeah, probably even faster at max. Into some slow corners. It's not sharp, but it's not a sweeping curve as well. It's just perfectly balanced to make some good side-by-side racing. Speaking of which, we're bound to have some position swap here in just a slight, as the 61 of Kirk Marble is under pressure from the number 16 of Joshua Crane. Joshua, number 16, started all the way back in 24th place. Looked like elected not to qualify, but now, keeping all 4 tires on the racetrack has kept them well. He wants to work to the back end. That number 61, Kirk Marble, is a whip right up off the corner. Bryson Clark in the number 17, going to be watching this battle for 10th place. You see right there. Oh man, the 61 is blinking out real hard. Crane has to predict where he is on the racetrack to prevent from hitting him. Yeah, right up off the corner. 16 is knocking on the door for that top 10. Scooting in, scooting out. Go where he doesn't. With just 5 laps remaining, pretty sure all these drivers are going to go 110% from this point forward. If these 2 drivers go side by side for a while, that's going to open up the door for that number 17 of Bryson Clark. As here we go side by side into 7. But the 61 of Kirk just cut him off in entry, running a defensive line to keep himself in that top 10. So Crane, obviously being faster than that number 61 of Kirk, as he's going to really shove it into the corner, maybe lock it up. No, he doesn't. I'm surprised, but Crane going to get a run right up off. That 61 wants to keep himself ahead as much as he can into the S's, but he's doing so as of right now. The 16 has a run. Both of them sideways up off the S's. Through the bus stop. As Crane gets real sideways, that's going to cause him a bit of a hiccup. And here comes the 17 of Bryson Clark to go ahead and challenge. The 4 of Zach Nichols is behind this battle. If these 3 collide in some sort of way, that's going to be bad news for that number 4. So the 4 probably going to tell the drivers over the radio, hey, can you please go ahead and let me by? I'd be nice if you do. The 4, obviously being the fastest car on the racetrack. Not going to go by that number 17 of Bryson Clark. Clark just letting him by. As now they're going to go side by side in front of that number 4. Here comes the 16, Joshua Crane. They're going to be side by side through the S's, so that's going to block in that 4 of Zach Nichols. They single it out, coming through the S's now. The 4 is there. Works himself to the low side. Kirk caught the grass just a slight, so that opens up the door for the 17 to pounce on in. The 16 of Joshua has to let the leader by. He has to let him by on the inside, and now the 61 of Kirk Marble is going to follow in pursuit. The 16 of Crane gets sideways as well as the 61. They're going to be side by side through off the corner. And they're looking 3 wide. Look at the 17. As I have a horrible voice crack. The 17 of Bryson Clark going to put himself in position and take the spot away from this 61 of Kirk Marble. What a move. And Clark works himself into P11. That was interesting because obviously as a lap car you gotta go ahead and let the lead lap cars go fly by. The way Zach lapped around, oh my goodness, the 16 of Joshua Crane somehow caught the car, and that's going to allow the 17 to get a run. He also gets sideways. All these drivers are losing all sorts of grip, well, at least this position for top 10 is. And this is the closest battle we have on the racetrack as of right now. In the meantime, your leader, that number 4 of Zach Nichols, is going to hit it up with 2 laps remaining once he crosses the start-finish line. But Clark is there. Oh, got a bit sideways, picked up the throttle too early. And the rear end lost grip. Now Crane get the best of the cars. Oh, Crane slips up in one. And here comes Clark to the low side. Bryson Clark works himself into the top 10. We'll see if Crane could go ahead and fight back. Both of them are all sorts of sideways. We eye in on the leader of where he is on the racetrack, and that's the 4 of Zach Nichols, who's now worked himself into the carousel. Three cars under a blanket for P10. We'll see who gets the best of it, because they only have one more lap. That's 2.45 miles to make something happen between that top 10. In the meantime, your leader, that number 4 of Zach Nichols, has taken the white flag, and he's gunning for, I think, his 6th victory of the season. His 5th, actually. Excuse me. Oh, Clark clipped the rumble strips just a slight, but he's still keeping it all the way down. As the 16 now has a run, we'll see if he can take it through the to the bus stop. Oh, he might have overshot it. He does overshoot it, and the 16 gets off course. That might have secured Bryson Clark's P10. They're still fighting back there for 11th place. We eye back in on the leader with a 4 of Zach Nichols, who has an 8.9 second lead over the 82 John Furness. The 4 doing some celebratory drifts as he works himself to the start-finish line. Checkered flag, 5th win of the season to Zach Nichols. There's your 2nd place for the number 82 John Furness. Lucas Cram gonna come home in 3rd. Derek M. Smith works himself a solid P4 finish. Liam Sheen gonna cap off the day in P5. Kyle Smalley, no one around him. Most likely going to finish in P6. Vince Marsh working himself through the corner. Most likely P7. P8. Carl Hanwork. Tyler Logan going to round up the day in P9. That's huge. That's huge for that number 5 of Tyler. There's your winner right in front of your screen as he Tokyo drifts it just about through every corner. Your winner of Zach Nichols. Once he took the lead away from the 82, he never looked back. Checkered flag to the number 4. Congratulations as he wins it here at Watkins Glen. We'll be right back here momentarily interviewing the top 3 of Zach Nichols, John Furness, and Lucas Cram. We'll show the order before we go cut to commercial break. Derek M. Smith, Liam Sheen gonna round out 5th and 4th. Kyle Smalley, Vincent Mars, Carl Hanmer, Tyler Logan, Bryson Clark round out the top 10. Joshua Crane, Kirk Marble, Mark Stryker, Joseph Kizik, Derek Winter, Connor Crichton, Presley Gilson, Joshua Schofield, and that number 24. He made his first start here tonight. Pete Gilson, Jared Heatre, round out 20th. Dave Fuge, Chase Bonser, Kevin Foster, Evan Rice, Jared Hager, all with some sort of issues, as well as Skylar Carnes. Ryan Libby, Alan Dobbs, Morgan Baird did not start the race. With the order being summed up, we'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned, more to come as we interview the top 3 of Zach Nichols, John Furness, and Lucas Cram. Be right back right after this. Watkins Glen 98, NFRL Berserker Series, round number 14. Coming here at Watkins Glen. back here live. Watkins Glen 98 for the NFRL Berserker Series, round number 14. Here coming out, Watkins Glen on Cup Circuit. We're joined in with the top 3 here just momentarily, but before we do anything, I want to go ahead and present our league sponsors here for tonight. Go ahead. There we go. League sponsors here for tonight. Next Level Racing, presented to you. Founded in 2009, Next Level Racing is the world's leading simulation brand, revolutionizing simulations with its industry-leading product range. Check out their products all on Next Level Racing. Crockett Creek offers the tastiest jerky in several varieties that are uniquely flavored and deeply satisfying. But that's not all. We have an excellent selection of tasty, super smoking spice mixes and other delicious seasonings that are all on your nearest grocery store, or you can check them out on crockettcreek.com. Butt Kicker, the one and only tool used for simulation vibrations on the race car and on the sim. Attach it anywhere on the rig and you're set to go. Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. Use code NORSE20 to get 20% off on all Butt Kicker products. That is NORSE 20. There it is, NORSE 20. 20% off on all purchases. Alright, we'll go ahead and drag in our top 3 for this one. We'll go ahead and drag in your winner from tonight's 40-lap event. And into the booth goes that number 44. Apologies about dragging you mid-conversation, but Zach, man, what a dominating performance. You slipped up there early during the beginning portion of the race, but luckily you rebounded to get in front of, I think, your teammate, that number 82, John Furness, and you picked up your 5th W in tonight's race. Zach, talk to me about the car, man.
Yeah, it was that first corner. I knew it was going to be difficult because I don't know how, but John made that top work in the first corner. And then, yeah, we made a big old slip up in turn 2, which cost us a whole bunch of time. But we, I don't know, we gained time back up on him and got to his bumper, and he made a little slip up off the last corner we got underneath him, and then he couldn't shift going in turn 1, I guess. But yeah, the car was fun to drive, mostly as the run went on. It got a little loose, and it was a blast to drive.
All right, man. I know you like loose race cars, and obviously, Xfinity setup known at its best, loose here tonight. How were the track conditions here for tonight? Was it any different before the update?
I mean, I really didn't see a difference. I honestly didn't even know they actually changed that in the update. I was just out there driving, I guess. But yeah, I liked how the weather set. Like, it was like super bright out and it was loose, and then towards the end of the race, the sun went behind the clouds and the track really tightened up and got a lot faster, it felt like.
Alright, and it played to your favor, and you started up front and obviously led the most laps here in tonight's race, and you finished in P1. Talk about the bus stop incident. You had to go off track there as you saw a couple cars slow down.
Yeah, I seen them go in there side by side, and it's never good when you go side by side in the bus stop, so I kind of got scared and I hit the brakes and I locked them up and completely just missed my braking zone and just went flying through the grass. But luckily we were able to not wreck and kept her going.
Yeah, I was about to say, luckily you had a major gap over that second place as John, about over like 10 seconds just about, to get yourself back onto the racetrack and get on pace. But you still picked up the W, man. You're 5th of the season. Get yourself closer to that championship, man. Congratulations on your W here for tonight. Any sponsor you want to thank here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my real-life sponsors, Paul's Karts Performances and Pro Fleet Transport. I'd like to thank you for broadcasting and the league sponsors. I always forget them for some reason. I think it's Crockett Beef Jerky, Blaze Pizza, and Next Level Racing. I think that's what. Yes, and the people who put the league on, Matthew and Presley, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, man. 10-4. Congratulations on your W here for tonight. I can't wait to talk to you coming next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a Zach Nichols, and we're going to drag the number 82 of John Furness into the booth. And John got up to an early lead there in the beginning portion of tonight's race, but unfortunately you slipped back. Was the car just not handling right to your favor?
The car was fine. Driver was just inconsistent. And I didn't really get enough practice. Zach was really fast, so all in all, it's a good day. I don't think we hit anything, so be looking forward to getting back to an oval next week. But congrats to Zach on his win. He did a good job.
Yeah, man, 10-4. You did lead a couple of laps there in the beginning portion of the race, as I said earlier, but a good solid second place to round yourself out here tonight. You're going to keep yourself second in points. So, obviously coming to an oval next week at Vegas. Where are you looking forward there?
Yeah, I like Vegas. There's a couple different grooves. You can race really good at Vegas, but yeah, I was able to get the lead on the start for a few laps there, and then just hold him off, and then he got out in front, and I saw where he was beating me, and I tried to change my line, change my style, but it just wasn't quite enough. So it was fun though. I guess I don't hate road course racing. It was good. It was good fun. So I want to thank the sponsors though: Butt Kicker, Crockett Creek Beef Jerky, Next Level Racing, and Blaze Pizza. And as always, thank you for doing what you do, and thank the admins for putting on the show.
All right, man. 10-4. John Furness going to round himself out in second place, man. Can't wait to talk to you coming in next week at Vegas.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
That was John Furness in the number 82, and we're going to slide in our third place of that number 044, who was actually in the 44 here for tonight. Lucas Cram, last week's winner at Bristol, but going to come home third here tonight. Another solid top 5 here to round yourself out at Glen. But Lucas, talk to me about the car tonight.
Yeah, I drove pretty well. It was definitely a little bit tight once you got on the cold tires, and when someone had one pit stop there. But yeah, it was pretty fun to drive. It was, I guess, a little bit on the slug side, but definitely fun to wheel around and get into a rhythm. Obviously, wasn't racing around very many people. Just as the top 3 were all kind of really spread out. So it was just fun to get in a rhythm. Obviously, all the different unique corners and just shifting all the way through. So it was definitely a fun and a little bit of an endurance race. No cautions. But I definitely enjoyed it.
Right, man. No cautions. Green from start to finish, as every road course goes as is. But we saw a bit of changing track conditions there during the mid portion of the race. Some bit of cloud cover. Did you have to adjust your line just a slight?
Yeah, it was interesting because I felt like maybe it was just the tire cycle. I'm not really sure, but I felt like when the clouds first came out, the track got slicker for some reason. So I had to take a little bit easier there on the throttle, and then once we got past a couple laps of that, it felt like it definitely had more front downforce, so you were able to be in the throttle longer, and obviously have more front turns, you can turn in easier. So I didn't have to change it much. It basically stayed the same rhythm all the race long, but you can stay on the throttle a little bit longer.
All right, man. 10-4. Before we let you go here tonight, you want to go ahead and thank any sponsors you have on board?
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out again to John Houston and Matt, who obviously officiated and run this series. Do a great job. Huge shout out, of course, to you for putting on the show, and huge shout out to all the guys that sponsored the league. Obviously, Next Level Racing, Butt Kicker, Crockett Beef Jerky, and everything they do for the series. Huge shout out to Zach on the win. I stole his number, but it didn't hold him back any. And congrats to my teammate John on finishing second there.
All right, man. 10-4. Lucas Graham going to round himself out in third place. Can't wait to talk to you coming next week at Vegas.
Yes, sir. Have a great night.
You too. That was Lucas Cram in the number 44, and with that being summed out, that will be all here for tonight. Congratulations to that number 4 of Zach Nichols, going to round himself out top. Until next time, from the Watkins Glen 98, we'll be back next week coming home at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Gonna log in 130 laps for that 190 mile event from Nevada. My name is Ezekiel Reyes. Until next time, same time slot as usual. We'll be right back here on Wednesday for the Braun Series.